21 years ago, this beat juggle won me the UK DMC final, and I have not tried to perform it since. These are the exact 2 records that I used in that performance, and I spent hundreds of hours creating this routine. It was easily the hardest thing that I've ever done on turntables. Today, I'm putting these records back on the decks, and I want to know, can I still do it? Let's find out. Okay, so we have the records right here on my 1210 turntables. And for those of you who don't know what a beat juggle is, let's just cover that very quickly. So a beat juggle is when you take 2 copies of the same record like I have here, and you essentially create a live remix of this track. And you do it by cutting between both tracks using the crossfader to make your own rhythms, patterns, and even change the tempo of the track, which is exactly what we're going to do here. Now, for those of you who were not vinyl DJs back in the day, you might be wondering what all of these stickers are on the records. So first of all, the sticker, the big sticker on the record, this is essentially a hot cue. Obviously, back in the day, we didn't have hot cues, so we had to put stickers on our records, which would allow us to put the needle on the record, and the sticker would physically push the needle into the correct groove. So now that is exactly where I need it to be to start the beat juggle. If we didn't use this sticker technique in the DMCs, then you'd have to pull out headphones, put the headphones on, cue up the track, and it would waste too much time. In the DMCs, you only get 6 minutes, so you have to make the very, very most of that time. So let's do the same over here. We'll put the needle on the record and we'll let the sticker push the needle into the correct groove. There we go. Now, because I've spent so much time practicing this beat juggle, there's going to be some pretty significant record burn. Take a listen to this. So because I've used those 2 grooves in this record so many times, you could hear there that a lot of the high end has been burnt away from this record. That just shows how much time I've spent practicing with these records, literally thousands of hours. Okay, so let's press play on the beat juggle and I will break down each section step by step. So let's stop there. So the first thing I do is I actually change the time signature of the track. Now, like most popular tracks, this song is in a 4/4 time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But on this section of the beat juggle, I actually changed the time signature to a 3/4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then on the next part of the beat juggle, I do that same pattern, but I actually pull the up fader down and put it back up just for a split second to create a gap in the rhythm. Now the next section is where the routine really starts to get difficult. I start to do some open fader techniques, which require real precision, because if you don't pull the record back at the right time precisely, then it's just going to sound like a mess. So let's take a look. So let's see. So as you can see, like I said before, if you don't pull the record back with the fader open very precisely, it sounds very offbeat and it doesn't sound very good at all. So I'm going to need to practice this for a bit. So there's actually 2 different speeds that I pull the record back with the fader open. So the first one is a slower pullback and it sounds like this. So there's a real rhythm and a way that you have to pull the record back so that the beats actually line up and it doesn't sound like a mess. So that was the slower pullback. Now let's take a listen to the faster pullback. And in this section of the routine, I actually vary the speed at which I bring it back just to create some variation so that it doesn't get stale. Now this is what I love about scratching and beat juggling. It all comes from the same place, starting with the absolute basics and building up slowly. Routines like this might seem impossible, but every DJ who does this kind of thing all started from the same place. Baby scratches, drop scratches, forward scratches, and then moving on to things like crabs and flares and boomerangs. That's exactly what I teach step by step inside my Ultimate Scratching course. If you want to learn properly with the right guidance, then just hit the link in the description to check it out. Now the next bit I'm about to show you, I'm a little bit worried because I know how difficult this was to get right. You can actually see how relieved I am that I pulled that off because that was tricky. It took so much practice to get that right every single time. So let's see if I can still do it. I think this might take a while. Really, really difficult. And also it's the kind of thing as well, if I had pulled that, well, if I had tried to do that at the UK final and it didn't go well, you would look so stupid. That bit I've got down. I hope the neighbors can't see me. Must look super weird. Okay, let's give it a go. So close. That will do for me. That was so close. If I spent a week practicing that, I know that I would be able to pull that off no problem. But for today, that's close enough for me. Let's move on. So more open fader juggling here, but we've actually changed the time signature back to 4/4. Rather than going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, we're now back to 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is with lots of open fader pullbacks, which need to be super precise. So let's move on. So this one is a little tricky, but it goes like this. So that one requires pulling the record back super quick, but I also need to move over to this side to pull off a 2-click orbit, which is actually quite hard to do. So now let's take a look at the ending of this beat juggle. This is going to be tricky. So on the face of it, that actually looks quite simple, but it's just the speed and the accuracy that's going to be really tricky. So it's more open fader beat juggling, but it's pulling it back super quick. So let's give it a go. This is tricky. This is really, really, really tricky. It's the fastest part of the routine, and it's also the part where you need to be the most precise. So now that we've broken it down completely, let's try and perform the full routine with no mistakes. Fingers crossed. had that, but the needle skipped right at the last second. The part where I cover my eyes, that's easily the hardest part of the whole routine. And for that specific part, I'm gonna admit defeat today. But if I was to practice this routine for another 2 weeks, I know that I would be able to get that no problem. But because I don't want this video to be 2 hours long, let's move on to the second part of the routine. Now that was nowhere near as clean as I performed it on the night, but I did have an entire year of practice to get that right. That was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Parts of that routine are incredibly difficult to pull off, but this is what scratching is all about. It's a skill, it's a muscle memory. It's hours upon hours of practice, but it all starts with the basics. If you've ever wanted to learn to scratch properly, I've put everything I know into my ultimate scratching course. It's step-by-step, beginner-friendly, and it will show you exactly how to build the skills that will lead to routines like this. Hit the link in the description if you want to check it out, and hopefully I'll see you in there. Now, if you'd like to see me break down another section from my 2004 set, then I recommend you watch this video right here.